Introducing.
What's good, my G's? This is the Three Black Men podcast, and we're gonna be sharing our experiences, what all we learned this year, 2024, going into 2025. As you know, we're both three jacked, black, handsome young men. So that's obviously a reason you should listen to us. But we're gonna be talking specifically about love, heartbreak, just different things that we learned this year and the way those experiences molded us. And yeah, so Will, you start it off.
So yeah, I mean, like Eli said, we're talking about love, but love to me is very kind. Love to me is very patient. But a big thing in this generation, especially, a lot of people will desire and kind of like sought out love. They'll try and find it in places that's not necessarily a place where you need to find love, and they end up running into a counterfeit. They run into a counterfeit of love where their entire idea, their entire being is really just misconstrued on what love really is. And I can say this because it's happened to me multiple times. And obviously, if it's happened to you, if it hasn't, whether it is or isn't, I mean, it's just one of those things that as a human, you're going to run into that. You know, I mean, there's billions and billions of people, almost 8 billion people on this earth that have ran into the exact same thing that I have, but in just different capacities and different areas of their life. But the thing is that real and true love is one of those things that's definite. And when I say it's definite, that doesn't mean that there aren't going to be any ups and there's not going to be any downs. But with true love, and love in general, like I said, it's patient. And love is one of those things you're gonna understand longevity. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna feel the longevity and the real supportive, just substantial base that love really has. You know what I mean? Obviously, like I said, that's in many different capacities, whether it be your parent, your brother, your sister, your significant other, a relationship, a situationship, a friendship. Love is one of those things that can come in so many different ways. But as young men, you have to be very careful, especially with who you choose to love and who you allow to love you.
That part.
You know what I mean? So like with that, I really just want to clarify, like, especially like with relationships and looking for the perfect girl or looking for the perfect situationship, or the perfect person to talk to. You have to understand that not everything that looks amazing or looks good is going to be good for you.
Preach.
And it's not going to be good for your heart. Hey, no,
Hey,
I'm telling
preach.
you. I'm telling you.
Hey,
Hey, man.
that person.
No, I'm telling you. Hey, I just got a hit to my chest too, man. I'm telling you. But now, like, you know what I'm saying? If you took offense to that, or if that kind of struck a nerve, hey, it struck a nerve for me too. But the reason I say that is because it's very, very important. It's very important, and you have to pay attention to these things. And the reason I say you have to pay attention to them is because with attention comes intention. You know what I mean? You have to be very intentional with the love that you give to people, because sometimes we'll be giving love, and this has happened to me. I'm speaking from my own experience many times. You can give love as much as you want, but you have to understand that when somebody isn't accepting of that love, or when somebody isn't seeing the value in the love that you're giving them, you have to understand that that person might not be able to obtain or maintain the love that you would be able to give them. You know what I mean? It's very important that when you get things, when you obtain them, that you maintain them. Like, just like when like you get a substantial amount of money, you want to maintain it. Of course, you want to have it and obtain it, but you have to maintain it as well. The exact same thing when you're sharing love. You know what I mean? And when you're actually receiving love too, you have to make sure that the love that you're actually receiving is going to be for the betterment of you and not the detriment of you. So just be very cautious with who you surround yourself with and who you allow to surround themselves with you. You know what I mean? Because your energy is very, very important. Your energy, your being, your entire existence it's extremely important, because it makes you who you are. You know what I mean? God gave you your body, God gave you your soul for a reason, and your soul is to be connected to people that are like-minded and just like you. So whenever you're looking around for the people that can be like you, or you're trying to find your other counterpart, you're trying to find other people that are motivational like you, or that are disciplined like you, or that are dedicated like you, those certain people will stick out. But I want to say that in the same respect of whenever you're looking for it, there are going to be some people out there that look like they're for you, but they're just not. But that comes with experience, that comes with time, that comes with maturity. And that's something that we've all had to understand and that we've all had to come to terms with. Sometimes it's not the most glamorous things when you have to come to terms with love not being what you thought it was to be. It's not, but it's one of those things that it's a learning experience. And it's one of those things where I always say this in some of my YouTube videos that I post on my channel, that there in life, that there are no wins and losses. There's wins and lessons. And the reason I say that is because whenever something goes your way the first time, that's awesome. Congratulations to you. More power to you. But when something doesn't go your way the first time, it's a lesson in where if you were to run into something similar, that you have a lot more knowledge on how to go around it and how to really just do your best that time in that certain situation. And then you're able to learn and learn and learn. And also when you learn, you're also able to earn. So you're learning the experience, but also you're earning the experience and actually contributing to the betterment of you and your heart. You know what I mean? So that is the best thing that you can do when you're trying to develop and share the love that God has placed inside of you to share, and that God has placed inside of other people for you to receive. You know what I mean? So just be very mindful whenever you want to find love or whenever you want to share your love. Make sure that it is being shared to a person that is very much so accepting of that. You know what I mean? And is it going to take time to figure out if they are? Yeah. But that's all a part of the experience that's going to allow you to help other people, and most importantly, help yourself. You have to first help yourself and love yourself first before you try and share that love to other people. It's been countless and countless times where I've tried to share love or tried to receive love from other people, but you have to understand a broken love isn't going to be a transmuted love. It's not going to be a love that's able to be transmitted. You know what I mean? You have to first love yourself and love your entire being before you share that to other people. And you have to make sure that that person that is sharing love with you is not sharing a broken love, because that can also counteract your love. Yep. You know what I mean? The love that you're sharing to them, and also the love that you have for yourself. So be very, very intentional. Like I said, the intentional part, very important. Be intentional with who you're receiving love from, and be intentional with who you're sharing love to, because ultimately that is all going to contribute to the betterment of your life, your love, and ultimately your soul. So that's what I've learned from love.
Yo, that's factual, bro. That's factual. And those are some fire gems, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
And going off of that, man, what I want you, man, to know is that you can't give somebody perfect love. You can't give somebody actual love if you don't first love yourself. That's what a lot of dudes don't know, because all we're told to do as a young man, you know, you guys are probably around our age. What you're told to do as a young man is to chase. We're taught to hunt, whether that's hunting for money, hunting for women, hunting for love. So you're out here hunting for love. You haven't even spent the time to develop that love in yourself. You get me? How are you going to be able to even love somebody properly when you don't even love yourself properly? You don't take care of yourself. And how do you love yourself, you may ask? Eli, how do you love yourself? If you're a young man, you love yourself with discipline, right? You don't love yourself with pleasure. You don't love yourself with drugs. You don't love yourself with alcohol. You don't love yourself with chasing sex. Not saying there's anything wrong with sex, but I'm just saying, if that's what you're chasing, instead of putting all that energy into yourself, developing yourself, working out, developing your physical state, developing your mental state, developing your spiritual state, your emotional state, you're not going to be able to give anybody proper love. That's the number one thing I want you guys to know. Going off of that, like he was saying, you can't give love to people that don't appreciate it, right? You can love everybody. Like, you should have a certain degree of love for everybody. But we're talking about that intimate love. We're talking about that romantic love, which is sacrificing yourself, giving of yourself to others. You can't just give that to just anybody. Because whether it's a guy, whether it's a girl, there's a lot of people in this generation that just don't care. They just don't care, man.
That's real.
They don't care. And if you spend time to develop that self-love, you would be able to peep very easily and be like, okay, this person isn't reciprocating this energy, so let me pull back. Whereas, if you don't have that self-love, on the other hand, guess what you're going to keep doing? Chasing something that's running away from you. Chasing something that don't appreciate you. And that's what I spent a lot of my 2024 doing. And let me tell you, that's one of the worst feelings ever.
After a while, you get tired.
You get tired, and that's something that could actually make you crash out. That's something that could make you ruin your whole year. Because instead of you loving yourself enough to chase what you should be chasing, which is your success, your self-improvement, you building yourself for you and your loved ones and for your family and for your future, you over here trying to bend over backwards for somebody that's bending over for somebody else.
Damn,
Let me just be real. I ain't want to say it like that,
that's
but
crazy, bro. That's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie.
The spirit of the real nigga provoked me and made me say that. But it's real. Like, I'm telling you guys something that's actually real, bro. And the truth is matter than fiction. That might sound crazy, but if you don't think you've experienced that, you probably have, and you just don't know. Like, we could all genuinely say we probably experienced that. We've experienced it, and it is what it is, bro. But genuinely, like, there's not that much love, especially in our generation. There's social media. There's so much abundance, right? The person that you might be chasing, you don't know how many options they have. To you, they might be an angel, but to them, you might be a number, bro. And that's why Eli now, bro, like, I literally had to, like, it's so funny. Brent Fias has a quote in his song that says, I told you this quote. He says, I act like I don't care. That's because I don't care. That's my quote. That's my quote. Because it's like, the second I sense somebody is taking my energy for granted now, bro, I kid you not, I'm off that. Like, I'm literally, it don't matter if you Beyonce, my G. Like, mans is off that. Mans can pull better things. You get me? So if you're not appreciating who I am, bro, you're just a moron, and I'm about to dip. Because it's not even because of where I am right now financially or when it comes to like socially or anything like that. It's because I know who I am at the core. I know who my spirit is. I know where I'm going. Yeah, so if I know where I'm going, A-list celebrity status, multi-billionaire, you know, like inspiration, worldwide person who changes the world. Like, sure. I know that's where King Eli Elias Afangide is going. So if that's where I'm going, am I gonna let somebody step in the middle of that and detract me from that, especially when their energy is just trash?
Can't do it.
I cannot do that. Like, I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. And so that's why sometimes I just be by to myself, man. I'm literally chilling. Some girls will get annoyed and they'll try to be like, oh, you just don't care. Or they will call me like I don't know. It's funny because a lot of people, like, they make this joke about nonchalant, like, you know, they talk about the nonchalant dreadhead, but they make it a joke, but it's like, you actually, like, have to not care. Like, you actually have to have some level of nonchalance. Just like I was telling my boy Will earlier, you cannot care about anything. If you see the way I move, if you hang around me for like a day, it don't matter who you are. One thing you're gonna know about Eli is he just does not care about what people think, bro. I don't care. And that's because I've been put in certain situations where I could have lost my life. I could have died. I've lost loved ones that were very close to me. And I know how rare life is. I know that life doesn't last forever. So if I know I'm not going to last forever, I know you're not going to last forever. Because in 100 years, we all going to be dead, right? What does it matter? Am I going to let anybody's perception of me stop me from chasing my goals and my dreams? No. And neither should you. Because let's be real, especially if we're talking to young men, what is the main reason why you men don't go for your dreams and for your goals? It's because you're afraid of what people think. And if we're getting more specific with it, 9 times out of 10, that person that just popped into your head is a girl.
Facts.
Let's be real. The reason you don't want to start making content, the reason you don't want to start that business and risk failing, the reason you don't want to go up and talk to different people and do different things to put you in the spotlight is because you're afraid. So are you going to be a sissy forever? I'll be real with you. Are you going to be a sissy forever, G? Because if you're afraid of what somebody else thinks and you're letting that stop you from your dreams and your goals, you're a sissy. You are a dickhead. born to lose, my man.
So change the narrative, bro.
Change it.
Change the narrative.
Change it,
bro.
man.
I'm telling you, the stuff that is stopping you has almost stopped every single one of us.
Factual.
But it came to a point where we were sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we were like, there is no reason to live a life that was meant to be lived to love and meant to be lived to experience if we were cutting the experience and the love out of it because we were scared.
Facts.
We saw how much the fear in our lives were just completely deterring us from our destiny. And we said, forget that.
Right.
We said, do away with that. And we started to step out and do something different. I talk about this in every single one of my videos. You cannot expect something to change if you first don't commit to the idea of that change being the change that is going to allow you to get to where you want to be. Your desired reality, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, everything, it goes into the idea of you have to step out. And you can't be afraid, and you can't be hung up on what anybody else has to say, because at the end of the day, how are you going to allow that other person that has their own life, their own destiny, to control your life? Really and honestly, it's not fair, because you're giving that one person 2 lives. You really have to look at that. Is that really fair? And is it really that deep? Is it really and honestly that deep? And honestly, obviously, we're talking about this and we're talking about love this entire episode, but it all goes into love. How much do you love yourself? Do you love yourself enough to stop all that scared, fear having stuff in your entire heart? Do you love yourself enough to completely disregard and trash all the fear that you have in your heart from other people scrutinizing you, criticizing you, all this stuff, all them like talking down on you? Do you love yourself enough to trash all that and just do something different? Maybe you have to do it only one time, but maybe you have to do it 100 times. But is it really that deep to you not to do and just to stay comfortable? Because 99.9% of everybody on this earth are just cool with being normal. And there's nothing wrong with being normal. There's nothing wrong with being normal. But there is a lot of people on this earth that have something extraordinary inside of them. So why be normal when you have an extraordinary talent, an extraordinary word that somebody needs to hear? Just because you are afraid of what somebody else thinks. Love yourself enough to let go of the fact of other people controlling your destiny and your entirety of your entire life, bro. Like, it's not that deep. It wasn't that deep to us 3. And I promise you, there's going to be something, push is going to have to come to shove, where it's not going to be that deep for you. But you have to understand that. You have to come to that sooner than later. All of us are really young. You being young is the time where you need to be experimenting, the time that you need to be trying the most things, because when you get older, you hear all those older people talking about, oh man, where'd the time go? Where'd the time go? Crazy. Dang, I was just young this other day. I remember when I was in college, I remember this, I remember that. You see all of that, that is infused. Those memories, even though they might have been good in the time, those memories entirety are infused with regret. And regret is the most devious and most evil drug of all time. It is a sickness. It's a disease. You don't want to be on your deathbed and be like, man, what if I would have tried this? I promise you, if you are on your deathbed and you right now in this moment are in the split decision of, oh, should I try this? Should I not try this? I literally talked about this in a video that me and Eli just made. You can't go negative experience.
Facts.
You can't go negative views. You can't go negative, approaching that person. You know what I mean? Are you going to do it? Or are you not going to do it?
Either you succeed or you learn from it.
Exactly. Like, there's no wins and losses. There's only wins and lessons. So start winning and start making and learning your lessons so that you can win. Because I promise you, those small L's are going to stack up to a big W over the time. Those small W's are going to stack up to a big W. You know what I mean? Those lessons that you learn, they are ultimately going to allow you to funnel out all of the trash, all of the nonsense, all of the noise that you don't need to hear in life. And it's going to give you and present you with a result that you've always wanted, but you have to be the one to step out. You can't have somebody else step out for you. None of us 3 can step out for you.
No, we can't.
We can't.
He's you.
It has to be you.
I can't reach through the screen and slap you.
I wish I could. I'm just talking. But for real, for me, the biggest question, I'm going to be real with you guys.
Yes.
I had to ask myself this question after Nigerians would say, Burna Boy, the philosopher, would say,
Burna Boy.
Everybody would chop breakfast, you understand? And everyone is prone to having like heartbreak.
Yep.
And I had to ask myself this question, and it's like, who are you? You can't love yourself if you don't even know who you are.
Oh, wow.
You can't love yourself if you don't know who you are. Who are you loving? You know? And
That's
you just
good.
build like a strong foundation of like, you need to love yourself to love other people. That's completely true.
You have to, man.
Yeah.
But you need to know yourself to love yourself. And so when you strip away those titles you've given yourself, like I'm a student or I'm a business person, I'm an athlete, I'm all these good things, great things that make you part of, a community in different sorts. Who are you on the inside? A lot of y'all are
bots!
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, because you need to be self-aware. If you're not self-aware, you keep making all these mistakes and you keep wondering what's going on while you're walking in circles. But a lot of people are just lazy. A lot of people are toxic. A lot of people live in fear. And all of that kind of stuff that you bottle up, you don't approach, you don't get rid of, it just makes you someone who cannot love or experience love in its highest capacity. And for me, I mean, with all the stuff I've experienced in like the last couple of months, in fact, the entire 2024 has been an adventure for me to knowing who I am, what I like, not having opinions just because other people say that one thing, having my personal opinions, my personal convictions. But it's also been a journey of like self-love because I know who I am. And so I love myself. And so I'm able to give people full love, if they deserve it, and not feel like I've lost anything. I'm able to notice when people are not giving me the same energy. You see, another thing that we have problems with, and I have the same problem sometimes, is they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so some crazy person could see like a rock and say that's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Right.
Someone like me, I could see like a beautiful woman and say that's the most beautiful thing in the world. Some people might see art and say that's the most beautiful thing in the world. And the one thing that ties all those experiences together is the person that is viewing. Some of you have like a big heart and you see the best in people. True. Even some people who don't even have anything good in them, you can see the potential, right? And that's fine.
Facts.
But do not mislabel things.
Facts.
If that's the only thing you take away from this, do not mislabel things. As a young man, you're wasting your time if you're mislabeling things. You see, someone flirt with you and you extrapolate, just take that flirt into like, oh, this is my wife. Bro, you're gonna be broken.
You see an shower and you call it a wife.
Bro.
You see a demon and you call it an angel, man. Be real with yourself.
A 304, and you call that 304 a wife. It's crazy.
Insane word. I ain't gonna lie.
And it's just because you have all that love in you, maybe, and then you imbue it on the person. You just
I gotta tell the
pour
story.
that thing on. Well, go for it.
I gotta tell the story about C. When you're done, I'm gonna tell y'all the story about C.
It's a crazy one still.
Crazy one still.
For real though,
C.
Like, it's important for you to not mislabel things. Now, for those who do not know, that's fine. For those of you who do not know, not every amount of attention from a girl, from a guy, whatever, is love. Some of it might just be them trying to waste time, pass time, all that good stuff.
Most of it will not be love. Love passes the test of time and like actions, bro. It's not by me saying, oh, I love you. I love actions. You. It's like, I don't believe T-Bro loves me because he says he loves me. I believe he loves me because this man was here for me in my lowest. Like both of these guys, that's love. 100%. So if a girl's telling you, oh, I love you, if you telling a girl I love you, it means nothing without actions.
Right.
Yeah, don't mislabel stuff. Like if you don't know today. Like hear me. Yeah. Do not mislabel anything. Call things what they are. Facts. Because a lot of you just have random emotions. You don't even know what those emotions are. You call it love. Some of you might just lust after someone. You call it love. That is not love. Know what you're dealing with. So if you want to go like smash 1,000 girls, know what you're doing it for. I wouldn't tell you to do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
But but I mean, if you know what you're doing, at least you can know what to stop. Yeah. But if you think you're loving them, then you're robbing yourself of the opportunity of actual love. Now, for those of you who actually know, because some of you know you don't actually love these girls, but because you don't love yourself, you think that's the only attention you can get, and you rob yourself. You make yourself like experience like less than what you're supposed to actually experience because you're settling for less. There's nothing wrong with cutting people off if they're not serving you in the way that you need to be served, or if they're actually harming you. There's nothing wrong with pulling back. Do not give every single person your attention. There's one of my favorite sayings it goes like, you accept the love you think you deserve. And that ties back into everything we've said. So, if you don't love yourself,
say it again.
You're gonna be chasing all these toxic women, and
yeah,
they're toxic.
And if you're a woman watching this, one of our female subscribers, is the same thing. We don't want you guys to feel like we're targeting you guys because if you don't love yourself, if you don't see yourself as worthy, guess what you're going to be chasing? A toxic man.
Because low-key, you think that's what you deserve.
Right.
Like, question yourself, do you not deserve better? So, don't accept stuff that's going to harm you.
Yeah.
Take some time to heal if you need to heal so you don't, harm people. But do not accept stuff that is going to, like, take you away from your goals, distract you, or even make you a toxic person in the end. The last thing I would say before you tell your story, bro, is, now this is going to sound crazy, especially from me who just recently, I wouldn't say I got heartbroken for real.
He chopped the breakfast just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Small breakfast.
I was kind of ready because I could see the signs, and it's fine, like we're cool. But for me, I would say do not be scared to try. Because I promise you, you cannot learn how to love someone properly You cannot learn how to accept love and demand the love you need as a girl or a guy, which is completely normal, in a relationship, or even like with family and stuff. If you do not try, if you do not push yourself out there. I'm so happy I put myself out there, because I'm not the kind of person that just goes around and like dates people. I'm too busy with like, self-improvement and stuff. But I gave it a try. It didn't work out, but that's fine. Now I've learned so many lessons. I know more of what I like. I know who I am. So while you're learning stuff about yourself, the best way is to go into the field and practice. I'm not saying go crazy and like date every single girl you meet or try to date every single girl you meet, but be courageous and bold to put yourself out there in some kind of capacity, either by actually going on dates or just social events, talking to people, getting to know people. Before you even make it an official thing, actually having conversations about life and their future and their goals and see how it aligns, stuff like that. That's you putting yourself out there. That way you're learning what to step away from, you're learning what to entertain, and you're learning who you are and what you do in different situations.
Facts. That goes into the idea of what I was talking about, being intentional.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't necessarily know what you're doing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to figure out this stuff, and you have to figure out what triggers you and what triggers you not. You know what I mean? What do you like? What do you not like? You have to understand and figure these things out. So that's why when he says put yourself out there, yeah, put yourself out there. But I don't want you to misunderstand what I was saying about, don't give yourself out everywhere. You know what I mean? You have to be intentional, like he was saying. You putting yourself out there with the desire and the hope to learn things about yourself, that's you being intentional. Mm-hmm. So embody that and make sure that whenever you do put yourself out there, that you're doing that, and that is the forefront of your mind whenever you're trying to learn these experiences and try to see what works for you. Be intentional.
Facts.
Be intentional.
All right, I'm going to tell my story about C. So Will knows a little bit about this story. T-Bro knows everything, literally who like the exact person is. So we're just going to call them C. By the way, all of our names. My name is Eli. This is Will. This is Tutu.
Yep.
These are two of my brothers right here.
Yes, Sersky.
But I want to start this off with a disclaimer. Number one, I love women. This is the reason I can't. I gotta make that important, bro.
Y'all see that baby oil?
No, chill. But no, the reason we keep referencing women in this is because we are three straight males. Like, we like women. It's not because like we're talking down on them. It's because that's who we're attracted to. Okay, but everything that we're saying, if you're a listener and you're a woman, it applies to you guys as well. If you're attracted to male, don't go for the bad boys. Don't go for a nigga that is a bad nigga. Because my lesson that I want to tell you from this story is, write this down, people, and type real in the comments if you're still listening.
Fact.
When somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Believe
This
them.
is something that my bro taught me. This is something that experience taught me. And I'm also add to that. Right. If other people tell you who a person is, listen to them. At least, I'm not saying take everything word for word, but at least give it insight. We had a situation that happened recently where one of my boys told me who a person was. I said, okay, noted. Now, that's something that I'm going to be thinking about, and it's going to factor into my decision-making process.
Precaution. Don't
be blinded by, oh, I like her, I love her. You don't even know her, bro. She could be a demon. He could be a real bad man. So when people tell you who other people are, whether they've heard things, whether they see things that you probably don't see, at least listen, at least hear them out. So I'm going to tell this story about C. This is something that happened almost a year ago, but it was really at the beginning of this year, 2024. There was a specific girl who I've known her for like almost a year, going on 2 years. I grew very, very close with her. She helped me out with my business, my clothing brand, Afangide Clothing. Shout out to Courage Tees, the Courage brand. She helped me out with that brand, and like I met her in the gym, and we grew very fond of each other. We got very, very close, and even before we started catching feelings, like we were friends, and I saw her as a friend, and we worked out, we talked a lot, and then over time, feelings started to develop, right? C had a problem. The problem was that she had a bit of a reputation in the city that I didn't know about until I started talking about her and about my feelings to my boys, because that's what you do. You tell your boys about who you have feelings for. And every single time that C is from a particular like community, an ethnic group. And every time that I asked one of my boys in this same ethnic group that she is from, and I told them about that name, they all gave me this look.
Bro, that's
They're like, you talking about C? Like C? I'll be like, yeah, bro. They're like, let me tell you something. And they gave me all those signs. My friends who were older, they gave me those signs. My friends who were younger, they gave me those signs. The whole community basically gave me those signs. And guess what I chose to do? Because I was ignorant and I had to learn it the hard way.
Hard-headed.
I chose to still love her and have those feelings for her regardless and to follow through with it. That was a very bad idea. Because when somebody shows you who they are, when somebody tells you who they are, and when you hear things about somebody's character that you might not hear, do not choose to be blinded by your emotions. These people were all warning me of things that I needed to know, but I chose to follow through because I wanted to be a saver. I wanted to be a superhero. My superhero days are over, man. At least when it comes to relationships. When I make my content, I pour out my heart and I pour out my soul, because if I can express my pain to save some of you guys' lives, I'm gonna do it, man. Straight up. That's the only way I want to be viewed as, being a hero. When it comes to my relationship, even it hurts so bad. I told my sister about this, and my older sister, she gave me advice. She was like, your superhero tendencies need to end where your relationships begin. And that's something I never forgot. Because there's nothing wrong with being a good person and wanting to help people out. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't want to help people out. However, when it comes to your relationships, that is the one place where you shouldn't be a savior. The Bible says it. I don't know whether you're religious or not, but even if you don't, see the Bible as the text of truth, you could look at it as a document full of wisdom, which it is. And the Bible states that when it comes to marriage and relationships in general, you need to be equally yoked. So you can't be equally yoked with somebody if they have obvious red flags and you know them and you're trying to save them. That's not how that works. A relationship is one of the few ways, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, where you need to be equally yoked. You need to be with people that are helping you be better, not people that are giving you anxiety and stress because you're hearing all these things about them. And man, like that love, those feelings, it's a blinder, man. It's a blinder. And that's why you, man, need to be super, super cautious about who you allow yourselves to catch feelings for. Straight up.
That's good, bro.
That's the story of C in a nutshell. But that small little story I told you, that junk had me in chains for like the first half of 2024, bro. Man's was just heartbroken.
That's just a snippet.
That's just a snippet. This guy knows. This guy
bro.
knows I was going through it, man.
Crazy
but
stuff,
now
bro.
it made me better, and it made me love myself even more, and just so much more cautious about who I choose to give my energy with. Like, if you don't give me the same energy back, if not more, because I know I'm a good guy. I know I'm somebody that can help you become the best version of yourself, motivate you, inspire you. Like, that all comes from my knowledge of myself and how I've developed myself and how I keep developing myself. So if you don't deserve that, mans ain't even finna look at you. Mans ain't even finna entertain none of that. And that all stems from self-love.
Self-love. And like the reason that we bring this up, that's one of a dozen stories, hundreds of stories that have just repeatedly just confirmed what we're talking about. You have to love yourself, because a lot of these moves where we try and find these other people or try and get involved with these other people, it is oftentimes, it comes from a place of lack of the love that you have for yourself, and you're trying to find it in many different places. And me and Eli were just talking about this, is that a lot of people do this. We've done it multiple times. And it wasn't until we learned that one time, it was that one time that it took us, was like, the light bulb turned on. And we were like, this is what it's all about. It has to start with me. And not only does it have to start with me, it has to start with my desire to want that love for myself. You have to desire the love for yourself the way that you desire that love for you to have for someone else. Does that make sense? So like, you have to really just break down and just go down and like break this down into each and every component that you can. Each and every space of the love that you have for yourself can be like, whether it's your mental health, your physical health, your what you eat, what you see, what you hear, really, really important, and who you hang around. Who you hang around, man. Like if you're hanging around people that don't love themselves, you're a sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So if you're surrounding yourself with 5 people that just do not love themselves, it looks like you're gonna have to change your circle unless you want to keep that same, I wouldn't say hatred for yourself, but anti-love for yourself. You know what I mean? You have to change your circle. And not only that, when you're changing your circle, you don't necessarily have to surround yourself with people that love them. You just have to spend time by yourself. Spend that time by yourself and find the value in that. When you find the value in yourself, that means you're able to add value to yourself. If you're able to be an asset to yourself first, that means you're able to be an asset to somebody else. You know what I mean? So whenever you see those parts of yourself and you're trying to rebuild that, you're trying to rebuild that love, that respect, that honesty, that diligence, that dedication, that discipline for yourself, you have to rebuild those things instead of trying to find them in other places in this world. You can't find anything in this world if you haven't first allowed the idea to become apparent in your head first. You have to find the idea and really just believe in the idea and see it for yourself first before you actually try and see it in the physical. You have to see it mentally, and you have to go there mentally before you go there physically. You have to see these things, and you have to be very, very cautious with the way that you're going about doing these things. They're so super important. And with all of us, 3 black men, 3 young black men that have been able to find this out, this is very rare. This is very rare. There's a lot of black men out here, young men in general, and even young women too, that are so lost in the idea of they don't even understand that the problems that they have, the issues that they're running into, the people that they're running into that are rubbing them the wrong way and robbing them of what real love is, stems from their lack of love for themselves. They haven't found it yet. We have. So please heed the warning that we're telling you. Listen to what we're saying, because bro, I'm telling you, as a hard-headed young black man can tell you, I was once extremely hard-headed and I had to learn the hard way. The thing that I want to provide to y'all, I want y'all to not have to learn the way that I did. Because the way that I learned came with a lot of pain. It came with a lot of self-doubt. It came with some self-hatred, and it came with a lot of confusion and just a whole like box of unsure. Like I was so uncertain of everything. Bro, I was second guessing everything. I was second guessing everything. When I tell you I was overthinking like crazy, overthinking, second guessing, doubting myself. All the things that deprive and literally strip away love. Strip away all 4 letters of it, man. I'm telling you, I promise, the entire 9, the whole 9, bro. Like completely, because I was just unaware that it starts with me. It starts with my desire. It starts with my want. It starts with me actually seeing it and believing in the idea that it's actually real and that it's out there. And last of all that, it is in me. God placed it inside of me to have. Once God places something inside of you to have, you can't deny it. You can't do away with it because it wasn't for you to deny or do away with. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been placed inside of you if God didn't think you were capable of it. But if it was so easy and if it was so, you know what I'm saying, like unvaluable, it would take you a day to figure it out.
Facts.
But it's one of those things that's going to take time. It's going to take experience, but you have to be willing to wait the experience and fill out what happens. You know what I mean? You have to understand and figure out how to filter out these certain things, man. But since we have this video right here, 3 young black men, as I'm going to keep mentioning, please do listen to us, because we wouldn't be telling you it if it didn't help us, because we know if it helped us, then we know that it will definitely be able to help you too. So
definitely. Well,
that's my thing.
Thank you guys. Thank you boys for this. This is awesome. I think this is going to save some lives, save some people's time and energy. So we love you guys, man. Subscribe to the channel. You boys shout yourself out.
Will to Will on YouTube, and also what's my Instagram? _Will Wilson on Instagram.
Man, my name is Tutu. I don't have YouTube
yet. You gonna start his channel? Dang it!
My IG is bro. I actually have to check because that's
man's gonna know his IG, bro.
It should be Adetutu ADETUTU.1.
Yeah.
So number 1, yeah.
Something like that.
If it's not that, then it's just gonna be in the description somewhere.
Yeah.
Facts.
Just look up
Always in the
ADETUTU and look for the nigga that looks like him.
The one. The one and only.
The one and only.
Yeah.
All right, y'all know this is King Eli, man. King Eli Speaks on IG and on YouTube, just King Eli. But I love you guys. This ain't gonna be the last time you see us. But just comment down in the comments what your favorite part of this video was. I ain't gonna make it too long because, you know, I know some of you guys probably got brain rot. So I'm gonna let you guys just digest and go chillax. But I love you guys and I believe in you guys, but do you believe in yourself? I'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.
That was good.